What's good? What's good, people? It's your boy Swift coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. This time, not in Houston. I'm in Dallas, and I want to start this stream off by saying, "Fuck T and his birthday. He ain't shit. Fuck your birthday. How old T turning 40? What 40 something, right?
Don't do it.
And tonight, right now, I'm drinking no water. I ain't drinking no milk.
T40 something for real?
Heavens no.
No.
I was like, damn.
Heavens no.
What's going on, good people? I'm back. It's your boy Rob coming to you from Tampa by way of Bolton, Mississippi. I'm not drinking on anything tonight because I got some work to do after this, so I gotta have a clear mind. Let's get right to it. Oh, F your birthday, T, for my LB.
What up? This your boy Crow, all the way from the Jack. On my fireplace shit tonight since it's a little cold. As the old folks would say, we on that Easter snap. But definitely shout out to T. Happy birthday, my brother.
Happy birthday, T. This your boy Crow in front of the fireplace and shit. You know. Go ahead. E.
Today I'm just E today. I'm just E today. I'm not even gonna be y'all conscience today. I'm gonna talk with sense, respect, dignity, all of that shit.
The lies and
What's up, y'all? It's Jay Ward, drinking tequila in Shreveport. I got my prove me wrong right here, and it's very important. Just want to dedicate this to all the men out there that took the time to write any sort of thought piece or long status about WAP, and you neglected to write something about the Jack Boys Out West or Throat Baby or any other male-made song about degrading women. You are the definition of a toxic male. You are toxic masculinity. So you don't have to agree that I'm right. Just in the comments, prove me wrong. Let's go.
J. Ward Jackson on his stuff again.
That's facts, man.
But anyway, before we get started tonight,
They were like a broken record.
before we get started tonight, I have an announcement to make. So we've been talking about this for a while. We have finally got it established. We will be hosting a clubhouse conversation on Thursday at 6 p.m. They got it for 6, yeah. We will be hosting a clubhouse conversation Thursday at 6 p.m., touching on some of the topics we touched on tonight: black male trauma, relationships, social commentary, everything. We're touching on everything we can Thursday at 6 p.m. So if you are interested in joining the clubhouse conversation, I will be sending that link out shortly after this broadcast tonight. So please, if you are in the comments and you want to speak to us and say your piece, got some stuff you want to get off your chest that you've been holding on for the past few weeks, this is your opportunity. We will host a club. Huh?
And then I'm gonna answer everybody's question. Not everybody though.
Where Crow go?
That nigga on Boost Mobile.
But let's get into it. So first topic tonight, and this is gonna be an interesting one. Should you be, what's up, Kim? Should you be in a relationship by a certain age? Meaning, once you get like 30, 35, really 25, do you believe that you should be in a relationship by a certain age? And if so, why? Does being 30, 35, 40 diminish your right?
Kim, we say what happened to Cross. You said he had to go put some more firewood on the fireplace.
Right? But what do y'all think? Do you think that if you should be in a relationship by a certain age? Because if you don't, then it's a wrap. Or you just date when you're ready and when you find somebody that meets your standards.
Man, women come down a dozen. Do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying for men. I'm saying for men. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, women come down a dozen. You know what I'm saying? You can, men go out there and find another chick whenever he get ready. Whenever he get himself together to be like he wants to be with somebody. I don't think women necessarily have that option, but I'm just saying so because they don't like realistically.
Why not?
Think about it, because it's more women, it's more black women than it is black men out and not incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So that ratio gives us the opportunity to pick more. As far as with them, you know what I'm saying? That's how they see the ratio, as far as like, you know what I'm saying, who's the upper scale type of dude, as far as like who meets their quota, as far as like, you know what I'm saying, you got a good job, ain't got no crazy baby mama, yada yada yada, etc. etc.
So if I'm hearing you right, you saying that black men, the age really don't matter because we can go out there and find someone because we are in shorter stock. But as far as women, we can find someone as soon as possible.
I don't want to say as soon as possible. I think they need to, you know what I'm saying, they gotta lock whatever they can down for the time being or forever long.
Put an age on it.
Huh?
Put an age on it.
I mean, you got to think about it, right? What that boy Kevin Samuels said, women start having high risk pregnancy at 35. They be trying to race against that biological clock too. You know what I'm saying? So that's if they want to have kids. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Some women don't want to have kids. Some men don't want to have kids. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they just want to, like, you know, they just want to be together with each other. So I mean, that's on their own. That's on their own decision. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's really no age, but I think it's more so like, if you ready, if you actually ready, and you don't never know you're ready till you get played.
I don't know if I can use that one. What you think, Crow?
I would say, definitely, I would say back in the days, it was a certain age. I think more so for women, you know, it was like, by the time you go out to college, by the time you graduate, you should be getting married by 25, 26, something like that. But as time progressed, I think honestly, a lot of women broke that cycle of having to be married by a certain age or a certain time. And I think men definitely shied away even more from that standard. Within this time and day and age, it comes down to, like, I think you said it, Swift, when you alluded to on what you're, you know.
Somebody got a daycare in the background, don't
You know, it definitely comes down to, you know what I'm saying, what you're looking for and just taking your time nowadays. I think we have eliminated a certain age criteria for us to be in a relationship or even for us to be married. Now, if you know, I think some women may get in that moment or that feeling of that, yes, I want to have kids if they have not yet had kids. You know, they want that family life, that marriage, and I think some men go through that moment too. So don't think that men have that moment too. But I think we've just kind of eliminated that age factor. And only way a woman does it, unless, you know, she's thinking about having kids and more so thinking about her body, you know, and trying to, you know, her best to bring in a healthy child in this world. But outside of that, age limit has dissipated, you know.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing from both Ian and Crow is that women should be conscious of their age if they want to have kids, but that really is the only determining factor if you want to put age into aspect, basically.
Well, I ain't gonna say hold them, you know, responsible for being conscious of their age, because I don't, you know, I don't think they're just, I don't think women walk around just more so it's just a flashlight. Girl, I'm turning 37 and I've yet to have kids. I need to be getting on it. You know, I think it's more so like that, but I don't think they pressure themselves.
What about men?
I'm talking about if they have yet to have kids, and so I think that all depends on the maturity of the man. If he's yet to have any kids, you know, do we feel like he's going to put in the time needed to be the father he needs to be? So, you know, that's a different factor, you know, for a man. I think also a man thinks financially, you know, is he ready to have a child, you know, versus and not saying that women don't think about that, but you know, for a man who is yet to have a child in his mid 30s and so forth and so on.
Go ahead, Jay Ward. What you think?
So to answer the initial question, I don't think that there should be an age limit or a certain amount of time that you feel like, oh, if I haven't gotten married or I'm in a committed relationship by this time. I've heard, and I think we saw on social media somebody say, is something wrong with a person, or even like, is this person crazy, or whatever, because they haven't been married or they don't have children. It almost like it devalues them because they don't. But I just look at it like that person spent time getting themselves established as a person, because when you graduate high school, and if you choose to go to college, you've really been in a child's place, up until 21, 22 years old. So you're really, and then if you get a master's, you may be 25, 26 years old, and you never really truly lived on your own, paying bills and things like that. So that's still really young. Some people are closer to 30 once they finish school, if they go straight through, and you haven't even had a chance to live on your own yet, much less get into this committed relationship and live together and all that. I think it's a rush on that for nothing. Plus, people are having children later and later, now because of technology and all of the advances that we've made in technology. So I mean, people into their 40s are having children, and I think they're having healthy children. But I always look at it like, don't judge someone else's season to bloom and feel like you're a withering flower. It may just not be your time to do that yet, and it's okay. My mama used to tell me that she didn't think anybody was ready to be married before 30. And I don't agree with that all the time, but I definitely can see where that plays out, because it's like some people, usually when they have like a high school relationship and then they stay in that relationship in college, by the time they get out of college, it's like, man, I'm sick of you. We've been together for a long time. So sometimes those relationships fail. There are some success stories. I have a cousin who just got married to her high school sweetheart. They were together through high school, college, and now they just got married and they're very young. So, to each his own. But I wouldn't feel any pressure or feel any less worthy or valuable if I'm not married by 30 or 35 or 40 or even have kids. And man, some people just want to enjoy that money that they're making instead of spending money on children for the first couple of years. And I would encourage anybody that's getting into a relationship, enjoy some years before you decide to bring kids into the world, so you can just enjoy each other.
And let me touch on that, because one of the things you said, you're in school, you working, you're trying to get yourself together, and that prohibits or stops people from dating or finding the one that they want to be with. But that also raises their value in a sense, basically. So, Rob, I want you to touch on this too. When you answer the question, what qualities would you look for? If you're up in age, what qualities would you look for as a man in your partner? Let's pretend Fifi not on right now. Y'all know that. But what qualities would you look for?
It's
At
a
that
trap,
age?
Rob. Do not answer this question.
Right.
So that's a good segue, because I was going to touch on that. So men and women look for different things when they're looking for a mate.
Right.
Like, most men are not looking for someone that is financially stable. Most men who are established, who have a decent job, decent education, is looking for someone to share their life with. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for companionship, someone to share their life with. Women are looking for stability, emotional, financial stability. So men and women are looking for two different things when it comes to looking for a mate. And so, to answer the first question, is there a specific age that you should be in a relationship by? The answer is no. But as you get older, the compromises that you tend to make get shorter and shorter.
Hold on one second, Rob, before you finish your thought. Yo, ugly ass boy, F your birthday. F your birthday.
Max up for the
Old ass
birthday.
boy.
Hey, I'm old as hell, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
He drunk for real.
Right? Get the Derrick Hill juice popping in his head.
Hey, it ain't even 9 o'clock, bro. It ain't even 9 o'clock, man.
Bro, this nigga
Big
got an
watch.
ugly mid on his face, Ju. Nigga got an ugly mid on.
For
Ain't
real.
no mask.
Happy birthday, T.
Hey, man, I appreciate that.
Y'all
man.
tell me
That old ass nigga.
Hey, I appreciate all the birthday shout outs for everybody, man. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah,
No,
that's
to
about it.
No, I'm talking about.
No, to my.
he
Hey,
gonna be he gonna be asleep at the table taking a nap before he
Right.
retires.
In 15 minutes. In
hey,
15
Right.
minutes. You gonna be
if
asleep.
if I get one more drink, nigga, oh, for real.
That boy tore up.
T
Hey,
smacked
be
off of
masked up
bottomless
though. I'm with
mimosas.
my old lady.
Yeah, yeah. What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, you know, get you an
Them
AB,
bottomless
man. You know
mimosas
what
and
I'm
wore
talking
that
about?
man out.
Yeah, get
Right.
you an AB, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, I holla.
All right,
All
brother.
right,
Yeah.
bro.
Happy birthday, my
That,
brother.
All right, man. For
bro,
real, fuck with me.
bro, you know you having a good time when you just happy to be here. That's when you having a
Right.
good ass time.
He ain't
That
said
nigga is lit. He living it right now.
that boy ain't said shit that made sense. Not one of them sentences made sense.
All I heard, hey, look, all I heard, get your AB man.
No to my. No to my.
But back to let me go to coming real quick for Rob finishes thought. Chanel said looking for a fat SSI check. Yeah, right. Sheila said raises the value but lowers their options sometimes. I forgot what she was referring to. Stampley, I think women just look for a mate that's seriously committed to what they are working towards. Well, what are you working towards? Looking for someone to take care of him. But keep going, Rob.
All right. So because men and women look for different things as they get older, the less things you compromise on as you get older as well. So the longer you are single, the more you realize I don't have to compromise this. I don't have to compromise that. Like people in relationships, they're constantly compromising. You know, it's give and take, give and take, give and take daily. And so if you don't have to compromise with anybody, you don't have to share your money with anybody, your space, your vehicles, your food. As you get used to that, it's very difficult to do that whenever you get into a relationship. Corey talked about this a few weeks ago when he said that when he got into a relationship, he had to learn that he wasn't budgeting just for himself. It's a hard transition. The longer you go doing that, the harder it is to work with someone because you've been accustomed to doing it by yourself. And so if I was an older gentleman, say around 50, 60 years old, I'm not looking for anybody that's financially stable. I'm looking for someone to spend the rest of my days with. And so for a woman, it may be something different, but for me as a man, I'm not looking for someone that's got a degree, X, Y, Z. It's also going to be dependent on if I have kids or not. You know, if I have kids already, then I'm not looking for a mother to my kids. I'm looking for a companion for companionship. If I'm a little bit older in age, I have no kids. I'm looking for someone who I can have some kids with and who I
Right.
can raise a family with. And so it's just going to be different dynamics as you get older. But I do know the longer you stay single, the harder it is for you to compromise the things that most people in relationships compromise. And so it gets harder for you to pick somebody because you've been accustomed to basically being on your own time, spending your own money, all that stuff. And so it just gets
So,
more difficult as you get older.
and I'm gonna go to Crow next because I know he one of the only other single brothers on. What qualities would you look for at this age in a partner?
To be honest, I'm kind of with Rob on that.
Mhm.
Losing thoughts on compromising. You know what I'm saying? There's only certain things now that I'm willing to compromise on.
Yep.
Is 20-year-old me, to be honest. Um, so what I'm looking for, and I was having this conversation with a few of my coworkers this week. I told them, to be honest, I said, and he alluded to it, but he went a different direction than what I'm gonna go. So a lot of black women are graduating intellectual, intelligent. They are now all hitting high levels in their careers across the board. Whereas I think we touched on this many episodes ago, where it's still kind of like we're one in that 1 in 15, in that 1, 20 black male. So my pool is a little bit larger. So the qualities I know I'm looking for somebody being intelligent and having a degree, and that's not to take away from any entrepreneur or anything, because if she's an entrepreneur and kind of show me she know how to work the business, then hey, she trumps somebody with a degree, to be honest, or on that same level, I might look at it. So that's kind of like the basic level for me: degrees, intelligence, maintaining yourself and your upkeep like a lady. And I ain't saying putting on a whole bunch of makeup and a whole bunch of weed, but taking care of yourself. So now on top of that, I'm not even gonna go the cooking route because I can cook for my damn self. I can clean my own goddamn home. You know what I'm saying? Um, I can wash my own damn clothes, fold my own damn clothes. So that eliminates that process. Yes, I would love for my lady, my woman to have those qualities, everything I just named. So now we finna go past that. Now I need that emotional intelligence within you. So I need you to be self-aware about yourself. You know what I'm saying? That means being aware of where you at emotionally. Same thing as I am. Um, Also, I need you to have that empathy, not just for us and me, but for our family, stuff like that. It runs deeper. Uh, I go to the financial side of things. You definitely need to have some financial literacy, kind of be stable, working towards some things, and go from there. But personality is a big thing for me too. Um, I don't need nobody being too much, but I need you to be just enough.
Mhm.
So
And I'm gonna read this comment. Kim said, "I have never had the single experience in my adult life since the age of 17. I've been sharing my life with my spouse. Talk about stressful, but a blessing indeed." Yeah, I remember you senior year. It's April, May. It's 90 degrees outside. You had that jacket on. We all know what. Let me stop. E or J Ward.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, I agree with what the brothers are saying about that. I think that, you know, to piggyback on what Rob is saying too about being in a certain age bracket, also, is this their next, like, is this their second major relationship or like a second marriage? Because usually a person that did already been through this, they ain't compromising on anything. It's like, mm-mm, this a no, this a no, this a no, because I've already made that mistake once. So what they're looking for is definitely going to be a lot different than, sorry, my stand is doing weird stuff tonight. But that person is definitely going to be looking for some different things than a person that hasn't been in a major live-in type relationship. And I think a lot of people really put the relationship title on, or this is my ex, when y'all really were just kind of messing around. I think that's an issue too. Like, people deem everything a relationship, they deem everything heartbreak when it probably really wasn't. So but I'm not knocking anybody's experience, but if that person is in a this is their second major relationship and they know the ins and outs of how it goes, it is going to be real hard for that person to compromise on it, because a lot of times they realize at this point, I can do this shit by myself. Like, I can be happy by myself. I can run a household by myself. Just like Crow just said, he don't need a housekeeper. Like, so, you're not going to really impress him with, probably, he didn't say this, but you probably not going to even impress him with great sex and ability to cook. He's looking for something more than that, more than likely. So I think that it
I need
depends on
somebody to
the
get my
age of
hair
the
bumps out. You know what I'm saying, Jay Ward? When them ingrown hairs get up under there and I can't get to them motherfuckers. That's the type of thing I need. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but real quick, I think somebody that you can trust, like, really trust, somebody that you can be yourself with and have fun and have intimacy with. Those are probably the three ones that I would throw out there.
Bro, Crowley is a fucking idiot.
Before you go, E, let me read this comment. Since we're mostly college graduates on here, I think we in particular put pressure on ourselves to settle down before we get where we're going, because you want to make sure the person likes you for you. Don't be swindled by someone with just a birth certificate when you have multiple degrees. E,
So wait a minute. So we still on? Should you be in a relationship by a certain age?
what qualities point now?
Oh, okay. Qualities, man. For me, bro, like I look for like a legit partner, like somebody else that's like self-sustaining. Like, I ain't gotta take care of you. You can take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That was me, because as I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not in the business of taking care of grown folk. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like, bro, it's too many women's rights out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, these folks probably falling over in their grave, rolling over in their grave, finding out a woman out here want a nigga to take care of them. They tripping. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Because at the same time, it's niggas out here that want to trick off on women. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. That's what they get off on. That's how they boost themselves up with their little egos and shit like that.
Hold on, don't be talking about Brandon. Don't be talking about Swift on the slide because he said he gonna pay for drinks and stuff for the whole crew.
That's on his body. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say the whole group. Now hold on.
That's on his body. You said last week if the chick invited you out that you was gonna pay for both of they
both of them. I ain't say a whole group. I said both of them. That's 2 people.
A group is a pair.
Shut your ass up.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Shit. But anyway, yeah, like so I look for somebody that's like a legit partner. Somebody that they ain't gotta be on my level necessarily, but like if they're striving towards something, they got like, you know what I'm saying, some go get about them. Then you know what I'm saying, I'm cool because I'm a simple. I almost lied. I am simply complex.
I say because you're not simple.
I'm simply complex.
Well, you are kind of simple.
I only need the basics, but I like to do a lot of different extra shit if that makes sense. So you know what I'm saying, you gotta find somebody that's willing to deal with your personality. If you don't know who you are, I don't think you should be in the dating pool necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way that prevents you from spreading your toxicness onto other people. But at the same time, that's part of the game. That's part of the gamble that we played in the dating game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta suck at something before you become great at it.
Hold on, they need comments. Why not? Turkey leg cut on Swift? Absolutely not. Swift buy drinks for the friends. Let me call my girls. Hey Swift, what you doing later? So that means you and your girls gon' never mind. I think that's it. Any final comments on this topic?
When E mostly makes sense. Well, damn.
Any final
makes sense all the time. Y'all shook. What? Man, I be dropping deals on here, man. What's wrong with y'all?
Well, keeping it in line with what we're talking about, relationships. We are all real close frat brothers. We all got friends outside the frat. And a lot of y'all in relationships. Did you have the conversation with your spouse prior to y'all dating, letting them know the amount of friends you had, the role that they play in your life? And did y'all carve out a role? Y'all need a woman next time. So we are not going, let me take that back. We have women bring in questions, but as far as like general conversation, but if you want to ask a question, please feel free to message one of us or the page, and we'll make that work. But back to the topic. Did you carve out a role for your friends in your relationship, or do they play a role in your relationship at all? Your frat brothers, your friends, close friends, so on and so forth, or y'all just keep everything separate? We tell a halfway truth. Well, Pat, you come on in.
So let me ask you this: you saying in a relationship, right? Like
right.
A legit one, not like a play one.
No, a legit relationship.
Oh yeah. Like in a legit one, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, regardless, like if you legit, like you gonna find out about these people regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? If y'all in each other's everyday life, some kind of way, some conversation is gonna happen to where either you talking about somebody or she's talking about somebody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To where it's like, oh yeah, this person's from college, or this person is from I don't know, this person worked with me, or this person was at the goddamn in the gym or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? On time, you need to worry about if newer people keep coming up. You gotta be like, whoa, slowly roll, you're getting too smooth. You know what I'm saying? But and vice versa though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We start meeting too many people like, you giving your number out to people? All right, bet that up. That's when you gotta act accordingly.
Put your foot down. Yeah.
If that's what you want to call it, I just say act accordingly.
So, for your current friends, though, do they play a role in your relationship? Do they tell you to?
In my relationship, hell no. Hell no. Hell to the motherfucking no. Like, I might ask if I'm tripping, if I done did something, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I do get out of pocket, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a very blunt ass motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Really? We didn't know that.
We did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to bring this to y'all attention. I'm very blunt. So sometimes, like, I can mean well, but my delivery be horrible. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that.
Sometimes,
Man, I feel you on that shit. Like, I'm
yeah,
definitely.
I can genuinely mean well,
Yes.
but it just be the way I might say it
Yes.
will come off as like I'm trying to like verbally abuse somebody or some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to be like, hey, bro, like, this is how I said it. But you know what I'm saying? They don't know the background of the situation. You feel me? Like, I'll leave that part out because my relationship is not for it's not for the streets. You know what I'm saying? This me and my business. You feel me? That's personal to me. So I'm not, everybody else not gonna know the ins and outs or whatever until like shit didn't happen like this months later or something like that and nobody care about it.
Jay Ward, what you think? Because I think you brought the topic. What you think?
So, and I think I actually saw it in the comments, and this is something that I was going to hit on too. But the opposite sex thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that needs to be, and I think this is where I think you need to establish norms and the role that your friends play in your life. Once you know that you're getting to a serious relationship with someone, you need to go ahead on to establish those things to avoid conflict, because like, you don't want that awkwardness where it's like, okay, take for example, going to the game is your thing with your friends. Okay, so now you're going to the game with your friends, and she's like, well, why I'm not going? But had that been established at the beginning, then you would already know why you're not going. It's one thing to talk about your friends and, oh, I mess with him, and him, or whatever, but to actually see and have defined roles, it's like, look, this is our thing. It's just like if you're dating this lady and they have, game night, and now you show up, now it's like, oh, I didn't know we were bringing our, our significant others or whatever. So now this is awkward. Also, to answer the question about the opposite sex thing, that is huge, because I've heard horror stories of girls all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm just kicking it with my homeboy, and it's like, who? I ain't never heard of this person. You've never mentioned this person at all. So now this person is that important to you to where y'all go have side, hangout sessions? No,
That's why I
that don't
said
check
you
out.
have to act accordingly.
Hold on. So two questions.
Accordingly.
Two questions. When do you have that conversation? These are my friends, so and so, so and so. And have you ever been that friend of the opposite sex that she was going to hang out with?
Don't lie, Jay.
I got plenty of homegirls, bro. Like,
okay,
just like
that you had sex with.
Huh?
That you had sex with.
Oh, nah.
So
Can't
the first part of the question.
Can't do that, bro. It's a no.
So the first part of the question is, I think you introduced that. I think you bring that knowledge forth as soon as you guys start really becoming serious, and it's just like, well, when she's looking for you to spend time with her and you can't because you're with your friends, that's when you had that conversation like, well, on Thursdays, this is our, we go shoot pool on Thursdays, or Friday our free lunch night, for the old people in the chat. So you definitely need to have that established. Also, this is just my personal belief. I don't think that you need friends of the opposite sex unless you have some sort of significant reason to be friends with this person. Meaning, like, we're friends because of work, or like I'm friends with her because that's my best friend's old lady. But I don't think any man in the history of mankind walked up to a woman and said, "Damn, she pretty. I bet she'd be a good friend." That is not how that works. If any man says that, that's a lie. If she puts you in the friend zone, y'all ain't friends. You in the friend zone, waiting on your opportunity to get out of the friend zone. I
can't agree with that, Jay.
That's what I personally believe.
They were speaking from personal experience.
So answer the second question, then, Jay.
What I need to be friends with what I need to be friends like that with a woman for? I mean, I got friends that we can communicate like on social media or maybe a phone call like that. But if we're physically spending time for what?
You ain't never just been cool with a
chick, we got
bro?
To talk.
So
you never just been cool with a chick?
Nope.
I ain't that type of friend. I ain't that type of friend.
freeze up.
Nope.
All of a sudden, the internet freeze up.
Like people that
I ain't
like
that type
about
of
people that
friend.
grew up in your neighborhood. You ain't just cool with
I
them
moved
chicks like
around a
that?
lot. I moved around a lot, so I don't have no friends.
Oh. Mm.
Hey, so quick story on
Man,
that.
Jay Ward hates women. That's what it is. Jay Ward hates
So
women.
I have a female friend. Her name is Carrie,
Opposite.
and I met her in one of my military schools. We've been friends since 2010. When I traveled from here to Virginia, I went to her house, chilled at her house in between my class, hung out with her. She's married. Her husband was there. Her husband left the room, played with the kids. He took the kids, left the room. We hung out. She came, and when she was in Kansas, when we were staying there, she came and hung out at our house, hung out with me. She went to a fitness class with Felicia. She was in Felicia's fitness classes this afternoon, today. We've been friends since 2010. Never anything sexual, never anything inappropriate. We know each other's spouses. We've been friends, legit friends since 2010. Nothing inappropriate.
Because you brought her into your circle. You brought her into your circle.
It's possible. It's possible.
Nigga, your phone up there doing the goddamn
Yes, freezing.
freeze challenge.
It's possible, y'all. It's possible.
Yeah,
If you can't see a woman as just a sexual object and not just a human, like a dude, then that's a problem.
Whoa, say that. Wait. Say that again. Because Jay Ward is always against sexualizing a woman, and then all of a sudden you can't be friends with a woman because you're sexual. Whoa.
I never said, whoa. I never said, I never said
because obviously you're saying you can't be a friend with a woman because you're thinking somebody's gonna have sexual intimacy, some type of intimacy along the way.
Nope, putting words in my mouth. I said if I meet a woman,
then caught up.
If I meet a woman out, and I look at her and I want to buy her a drink because I think she's attractive, and then we become friends, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as, oh, we both in the military and we have a common thread and I introduced her to my significant other. That's not the same thing. But y'all can't tell me that you thought of a woman and you was like, damn, she look good. I bet she good at dominoes. Like y'all can't tell me that you just looking to hang out with someone.
I can't let them. Hold on.
You literally came out your mouth. You just said there is no reason a man should be friends with a woman if there's not a legit reason. This is the part that we're debating and you're deflecting on. So
I'm not deflecting on. I don't have anything to hang out.
You just deflected. You just deflected to find a girl.
What I look like with my best friend, a beautician. What the fuck we got in common?
You minimized it to
bro.
We have nothing in common.
They work with a home girl that's a beautician. You meet her and be like, okay, I'm gonna tell some of my people, and then from there, every time that like
what causes me to meet her, Crow?
What,
bro?
What caused me to meet her?
You could have been out with just
anywhere. You can meet anywhere. If you get cool with them, bro.
We meet everybody. Just going to the left. God, let's bring it back. Let me go to the comments real quick. Then we're gonna bring it back.
Man, Jay Ward hate women that don't like him.
I thought I muted you. You muted again. Kim said, I've gained friends that are male and it's strictly gaming friends that are male and it's strictly gaming. What the lady said on Players Club, I just came to play Kill and Call of Duty and that's it. As long as you ain't fuck your friends, who cares? Jay Ward got the Teddy Riley internet. What if you have been intimate with your friend? Are you mad if your girl trips? I mean, I think she would have a right to trip if you've been intimate with her, but back to what they were debating. Can you be friends with someone of the opposite sex and it just be a friendship?
Yes.
My best friend.
Why, Rob? Talk about it.
Because so if you just take out the gender, you treat I treat the women specifically that I work with just like the dudes I work with. Like if you wouldn't go up and tell a dude, hey man, those pants make your ass look fat. Why would you walk up to a chick and say that at work? And so that's how you have to approach people. You don't approach them as if they're a conquest or somebody you're trying to constantly sleep with. You approach them just like they're human. And if you do that, you usually gain a lot of friends of the opposite sex and the same sex because you're around them constantly. Like you're always around them. If you separate or see that as just an opportunity to either get put in the friend zone or an opportunity for you to smash them and they didn't want to smash you, so you're in the friend zone, you are weakening the effect that you could have actually real, genuine, great opposite sex friends because they can enlighten you on things that you may not know that you're saying or doing, and they can help you when it comes to your lady, your wife, your girl, or whatever, because it's a different perspective. And so I think a lot of men can't separate the two. Like you can have an attractive friend that's the opposite sex, and y'all never do anything ever. Like that, just because they look good shouldn't change your interaction, especially if you're already in a relationship. Like that shouldn't change anything. You should always look at people as people, not someone that you are trying to smash or you're trying to get to know to put them in your kit bag. Like it's possible. I have a lot of friends who are of the opposite sex, and we never said or done anything inappropriate. Like it's completely possible. You just have to have your head right to know that every woman you meet ain't a woman that you're trying to sleep with. Like that's how you should approach any type of situation when it comes to the opposite sex.
Gotcha. Good. Definitely. Good point, Rob. Good point, my guy.
I don't know what Jay Ward was on, bro.
Yeah, but when it comes down,
That's Cap E, whatever.
Bro, me and my girl went to a baby shower. Like, what?
You and your girl.
Yes,
Not
but
you.
they met.
You and your girl. That's why I said you got to bring them into the circle. Y'all talking about like you and your homegirl. Hey, baby, me and such and such about to go out tonight. As a matter of fact, we're gonna just take a vacation this weekend. You know, I'll let you know when we get back, bro. That's Cap. Y'all talk about me with Cap. That's
hold on, we
straight
talking
Cap.
about taking full vacations, though, Jay Ward.
That's what you do with friends. Y'all trying to say, yeah, whatever.
You just never had a friend girl. That's all. It's okay.
I've never had one. I've never had a friend girl that I did not have a common thread with.
Man, it sounds like
I didn't. I went walking on the yard. I went walking on the yard and say, "Damn, she fine. Let me go speak to her and just become best friends with her." Like, and y'all can't tell me y'all meeting people like that. How did you meet your best friend? E? The one that's a girl.
She said I broke the stapler in class, in English class.
Okay, so y'all were classmates, right?
Yep.
That's a common thread. I'm not talking about lifelong friends. I'm talking about when you out chilling, you on the scene, you out there flipping your whip or something like that, and then you see a girl that's attractive. You can't tell me that person is about to become your best friend. That is a lie.
But aren't your male friends, don't you all have a common thread? Like that's kind of what makes you friends. Like that's what I'm saying. If you take the gender out, every one of your friends, your male friends, y'all have a common thread. Either fraternity, sports, some type of activity you did, your job, or something like that. It's the same thing with women. So saying that the women have a common thread, that's any friend that you have. Any friend that I've had over the course of my life.
Y'all took that and ran with that.
Common thread.
Bro, that's what you said.
I said you do not meet someone based on attraction, and then that person becomes your friend. That's all I said.
Whoa!
But I
Jay.
forgot who the people I'm talking
to. Let me interject real fast. E.
Go ahead, Crow. Let me mute myself.
Before I go into the role of friends, Jay, we've been on college. We Jackson State campus, and yes, we've seen some quite exquisite, beautiful girls across that campus. And then we were like, oh, I'm gonna go try to holler at her. But like you said, she gives you probably no play or something like that. But then all of a sudden, y'all end up kind of having a, hey, how you doing? Hey, and that changed to, hey, how's your day been? You have a longer conversation. Then all of a sudden, it dwindles down from, man, yeah, she was cute. She cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So then y'all build a bond. So now y'all, instead of just speaking every day, y'all sitting down having conversations sometimes on a plaza, maybe in a cafeteria. Then, you know what I'm saying, going out. So as years pass, you developed a friendship with this young lady. So now come homecoming or whatever it may be, when you see it, that's legitly your friend. Let something happen to him. You like, damn, let me see what's going on with my homegirl. Let me see what's there. You may not have a chance to introduce her to your wife until homecoming or something like that. But whenever you do run across, you're gonna be like, hey, I know I've never mentioned such and such, but this was my homegirl from back in the days. Hey, we go way back. You're gonna kind of get to explaining. Now, You gon' now if you honest and there with your chick, if y'all did cross that path, then you're gonna tell her that. You get what I'm saying? But if nothing ever happened, that's legitly your homegirl from college. That yes, for a moment, for that one moment, that month, you found her attractive, but you found something deeper than that attraction, which now it developed into a friendship that came over the years. Come on, guy. You can't say it can't happen. But now let me get back to the question since I haven't answered it. The role of friends. When in the younger years, I ain't kind of give a fuck about role of friends. I kind of let friends fuck up some shit, to be honest, because I ain't give a fuck. Now, older me, you know what I'm saying? I got boundaries. I got certain people who I go talk to, certain people who don't know shit at all. So now that I'm older, I've established certain roles for all my friends and who gonna know what and who gonna be where in my relationship if I allow them there.
What hell y'all done raised since I've been gone?
Oh, it was a lot of it, boy.
I'm looking through the comments now. Nikki said, I mean, really thinking about it, I'm about 98% sure that I could have sex with any of my male friends, and about 62% sure I could with women. So I don't know. I also don't know what the question is. So let me keep scrolling down. The real question is, if that attractive friend gives you the sign she wants it to advance, will that man or woman be able to resist? Y'all think y'all could resist?
Resist what?
Say that one more time.
Temptation?
Yeah, if your friend say she's attracted to you and she's shooting a shot and trying to smash, could you resist?
Yeah,
Bro, like that
yeah.
would never happen between like me and my homegirl. Like it don't just work like
But
that.
that you're not answering the question. You like you said, you're deflecting. It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
Bro, if I have a legit friend that like, you know what I'm saying, that's my nigga, then like I'm gonna look at you as my homie. I'm gonna look at you like you like my bro. Like
It's
you're
a yes or
like my bro.
no.
So it's gonna be a no for me, duh. But I'm
Okay.
just explaining. I'm giving context.
That's
That's how
that's
you
we
answer
looking at it.
questions.
Yes or no.
That's how you answer questions. You give context. You know what I'm saying?
Shanique
We,
said,
we know we know your conversation skills are lacking because you didn't have any female friends. So you know what I'm saying?
Hey, he
I'm
lost
from
all. Hey, he
control.
lost
You know what
all
I'm
the
saying?
friends along the way.
hold
But
on,
y'all
hold on, hold on. Let's go through a couple more comments. Shanique said, because I've had guys try to talk to me and she shut them down because she's taken. Their next line is, can we just be friends?
No, that is not the same.
Yeah, that's not the same.
That is
Yes,
not the
it
That's not the
same.
same.
is. Yes, it is.
That's not the same. That's not someone you would consider a friend. They really tried to shoot their shot. That's not someone you just met organically and a friendship ended up happening. No. You can have friends of the complete opposite sex from the opposite thread. I have male friends who are on a complete different spectrum than I am, but we have great relationships. Okay. And the last comment, Marie, you want to test it. Take his or her phone and text, I'm tired of my spouse. Can we link up and have some fun? And they respond when aware then they opportunities and was waiting for an opening. That'd be an interesting experiment. That would be
uh,
an interesting experiment.
Rob and
Tired
Fifi
of my
gonna play
spouse
that
can't link them and have some fun.
tonight.
Please do not. We do not need to try to Florida for no funerals. So, any final thoughts or comments on this one?
Nah.
So I would say I have a strict rule in friends and family interjecting into my relationship. Strict rule.
Facts.
I will go to my trusted brethren for counsel, but I have been very adamant on separating my family from my relationship because relationships go through ups and downs. And so when you and your person that you're in a relationship with reconcile, they didn't reconcile with the family and the friends. And so all the stuff you done told them about your mate that you're choosing to stay with, they still know all that stuff. And so I feel like you should know within yourself what you should do in your relationship. If you need counsel from someone outside of your relationship, you might as well bring them into your relationship with you. Like I use like my close homies to vent to, but I'm not asking them for guidance on what to do in my relationship. I'm not taking my relationship issues asking for guidance to like my parents or my siblings or my cousins, because they don't know the inner workings of your relationship. They don't know the person that you're with like you do, and they don't know everything that's occurred that's led up to what's going on. And so they're gonna give you some jacked up information. That's what I feel. And so I have a strict policy on that. I deal with it myself, and I go further from there, because once you start bringing more people into your relationship, it's not your relationship anymore.
Absolutely. And Kim, Larisha, and E, I'm about to ban y'all. Ban y'all ass out the comments.
Man, they just said you had bubble guts, bro.
They doing it. They doing it again bad out here.
Old girl said Swift had left and came back. He was smelling the air.
Moving on to the hold on, say what now. So we saw the situation in Georgia where the young white male shot up and killed I think it was 8 individuals who were Asian. And we've seen the social media posts where there's a call for holding hands and supporting that community, the Asian community, by the Black community, right? And you see people saying, well, where is the support for the African American community? Why is that we always have to go up in arms for other communities when they go through something, but we don't get that in return? You kind of see those comments playing out on social media. So I want to ask y'all, with everything that's been happening, and first let me say it's a tragedy what happened to that, those 8 individuals. It shouldn't happen to anyone. But how do y'all feel about us being the backbone for other communities when it's not reciprocated?
It needs to stop.
Huh?
It needs to stop.
What needs to stop?
Us being the backbone for other people.
And why is that?
We don't get the same support. Why is it always, if we the same people that built this motherfucker, why is it that we have to hold it up all the time? And don't get me wrong, I feel like it's a horrible tragedy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to go out and get knocked off just because like they a type of race or any type of sexual orientation or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And then like it's just like now I see like all these stop this Asian hate, yada yada yada, and then it's all in the press. I'm like, damn, we couldn't get this shit for us. We still getting killed in the streets. Ain't nobody saying shit like that about us. Not in the mainstream newspapers. ABC or NBC, one of them had published a paper, an article talking about how Blacks can be allies to Asians during this time. I was like, what the fuck? And then like you see how this stop Asian hate. I'm like, man, nigga, stop white supremacy, bro. Because that's the cause of all of this shit. That's really the bone dry comment. This shit. Every time fucking little Billy get a fucking ketchup on his cheeseburger, he want to go shoot 12 people in the goddamn bank. Then they had the nerve to paint him as a good guy. Oh, well, he was just having a bad day, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, man, Black people live through PTSD every fucking day. We don't gonna kill up shit. We don't gonna kill up shit in public places. Now, we might kill somebody that's, around the neighborhood, somebody that's in the streets that we know or some shit like that. But we don't just go on no mass shooters of some motherfuckers we don't goddamn know, especially no public places like Mandalay Bay. What's the elementary school that got killed that was real big? The Orlando club shooting, the movie theaters in Aurora. All them be regular ass white people that just all of a sudden they snap, and then like everybody try to paint them like, oh well, yeah, he was a stressed individual. We should really get him some counseling. Yada 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 yada. No, these motherfuckers is just fucking evil. That's the point blank period. And yet still we the ones that get discriminated against when really it should be white people. White people should be the only race over in America that should be getting discriminated against. Because they the ones doing up all the shooting, all the killings.
Well, I ain't gonna say they should be discriminated against. We're not gonna say that, man.
I said it. But they the ones who need to be getting discriminated against, bro. Because they the ones that are most likely to do these violent actions that we get blamed for. When you really think about it, everybody else, if you commit a crime, it usually stays inside their own community. White people are the ones who go into other communities committing crimes, or either they do the shit where people where all the minorities meet at. They always doing shit on neutral ground. Why? Why nobody ever? Why hasn't there been a stop domestic terrorism movement? Explain it to me. Now leave it alone. I yield my time.
Let me go to the comments before we keep going. Uh, Shanique, Fifi. Yes, I got called into a Zumba community Zoom tonight, asking to participate in a solidarity dance for support of Asian Americans. I'm honestly saddened by the tragedy, but on the fence about participating. Dang, did they ask for solidarity Zumba when no, well, never mind. We are conditioned and it's cultural disassociation at play. Hmm. Grandma, and men to that, and I'm a Christian. Zay, the black community is like the friend that keep getting used by all their friends. Ooh.
That's
Neck,
right.
I feel like as oppressed people ourselves, we should always speak against oppression and discrimination, regardless of the intended target. However, I'm not marching in the street and risking my life for anything other than what I see in the mirror. Hmm.
Facts. Whoever said that, real nigga.
Neck. Go ahead, Crow. What you think?
Hmm. Definitely. Everybody runs to the black community when anything happens. When anytime there's a movement, we are the foundation, low key, of that movement. I think I saw something where they kind of piggyback from all our movements on how they kind of use the foundation to create their movement. Basically, that's for one. Two. Um, we are truly a band-aid for every ethnicity around. When they get pinched, scratched, cut, we go lay on that wound for them. We go be that advocate, that champion for them. Um, and the crazy thing about it is we become truly more organized with other movements, own movements. Even when the feminine movement happened along, with the Caucasian women, you had more black women more organized than a little bit. That's the thing about it. We are so organized when it comes to other people movement, and we are disorganized when it comes to our own thing. And that's the crazy thing about it. But yeah, we kind of need to sit back. You know how they say first, sweep around your own house first. We definitely need to do that within our own community before we start going to fix other people's rooftops and clean their yard up. We got to focus on our own, and that's in every aspect.
So if you saying that we need to clean up our own yard
We
first
on our
before
own
we
doorstep, we sweep on someone else's.
what I'm saying though, right? The problem with ours is still rooted in racism, right? Because you have
True,
systematic oppression, you have disenfranchisement of the black man that is also caused by what? White people. So just like what I was saying is until you address the problem and white people actually get held accountable for the shit that they do, have done, and are currently still doing, these these same issues is going around in a circle like this. We
but
just
I'm with you though, E. But that's when we come together and we vote and we put our people in power. We got to stop falling for the shenanigans in politics. We got to find those who are true for us, and that's one aspect. And then we got to come financial stability and start buying up property and land within our community. That's another aspect of it. So being politically savvy and financial literate, those are two great aspects of putting yourself in position to make sure you don't have to piggyback on others, or either more so continue to pull yourself up by the scraps.
Okay. Jay, what you think?
So I do want to say that I'm praying for that community. I have Asian allies, I have white allies, allies from all different, you know, ethnicities. So I'm not going to turn my back on them based off of the lack of support from others. Um, but I do agree with the whole, and somebody posted in our group chat, and we was looking at the interview with Godfrey when he was talking about how it's like everybody turns to us when something goes wrong for them, but when something goes wrong for us, they're nowhere to be found. That's where my problem comes in. It's like, look, I'm gonna ride for you 100%. Like I ride hard as hell for the LGBTQ community, like for real. And I'm like, I need y'all to ride hard for me too, though. So that's always my thing. I'm definitely a student of Dr. King, so I'm going to always, of course, lean toward love to conquer hate because that's just I've studied that. You know, I'm a Dr. King disciple, so I definitely believe in that. But it gets frustrating. But I think I really want to agree with E on the fact that it we're sitting here arguing about the Asians don't support us, or this person don't support us, so we need to stop doing this. When the real issue is this white terrorism, white entitlement, and white privilege, and they feel like they can realistically go shoot up a school and nothing is going to happen. Whereas when we smoke a cigarette in the wrong spot, we could potentially get killed. And I think that is the main thing. Like no domestic terrorist has been mistreated when they do these acts. They get taken to jail and they spend the rest of their lives being taken care of by the state, unless they get executed, which a lot of states don't even have the death penalty anymore. So it's like there are no consequences for this at all. But it's swift justice when it's someone that's non-white. And so that's just the thing. Like he's saying, we need to. It's just another distraction for us to bicker with each other about it. To me, it's just like being at a council rally and somebody saying, "Well, man, ain't nobody talking about diabetes because this is a cancer rally, not a diabetes rally." So that's what we're talking about at this current moment. So I get that, but I feel like that's still not addressing the real issue, which is again they can commit crimes and there's never really any punishment or anything to deter that type of behavior, and that's what gets frustrating. It makes you want to stick to yourself and say, "Man, that ain't my problem. Let them handle it themselves." You know, and that's what I think gets frustrated. So it's just frustrating, man, that every year yet again we have to deal with a mass murder. Usually the suspect looks the same, and it's like no type of gun regulation. They actually want to make it
Yeah,
easier for people to get their hands on automatic weapons. So it's just like, damn, how many people got to get killed for it to, for it for people to address like the real issue with that. So I don't want to bicker on, who we should support and, all that, because I think we can. And I think the main thing is if something go wrong, they think we can relate. They because they know we are oppressed. And then it's not fair that people immigrants from other cultures get all sorts of benefits and setups when they come to this country, whereas we don't. And that's not all people, but a lot of people that are new to America, they get a whole lot of perks and leg ups, whereas we was like we can't get a hand up at all. So it is frustrating, but I agree with you. We need to address that real issue, which is that white entitlement.
So Nikki asks, aren't a lot of Asian nations racist or colorist? To the extent black artists are recast if they're too dark because it doesn't appeal to that demographic. On one hand, injustice, violence against races, discrimination, and everything else shouldn't be tolerated. On the other, are they really that different than the white folk oppressing them? And also, to bring up another point, Jay Ward said that sometimes it's not fair to say that we don't receive support from those other communities. But what does that support look like? Does just posting a picture on Instagram saying "Stop racist act" is that really support? Rob, what you think?
So for one, um, one of my closest friends from the military that I served with, he's been one of the strongest voices on my Facebook in terms of Black Lives Matter and basically trying to unravel the white supremacist gaze that they've put on Black Lives Matter and Black lives in general. One of my other close Asian friends, he's actually frat from Korea. He's back here in the States. He fights very hard for Black people. He's very vocal on social media. He's very vocal in his circle. But a lot of Asians have been sheltered with the white supremacist umbrella, a lot of them. And for almost every single minority, not only in this country and in the world, the Black man and woman is the lowest form of person. And so when you travel not only across this country, but outside of this country, and you see how people treat us, not only here in the United States, but overseas as well, how we're looked at as like the lowest form of person by everybody on this planet, it can make you a bit cold hearted when you see the same white supremacist vehicle run over another victim, do something else to somebody else, because that's the same group that looks on us and looks down on us and talks about us and believes every stereotype about us that you have in the book. But I think we are so sympathetic, not only because we have faced that, but the black people are rooted in scripture and Christianity.
Mhm.
I believe that is a plus and a minus because we have been so forgiving of white supremacy throughout our time on this earth, and we are always so sympathetic when another minority is injured or killed by the white supremacist machine. We're willing to step in and to be an ally. I feel like you should meter your support. I'm not saying not support all the way, but I think you should meter your support. I'm not saying that you should, exhaust all your efforts in supporting this cause, but I do believe strongly what Godfrey said is every single minority rides the backs of black men and women until they get their opportunity to rise up, and then they leave us behind. And it's been the same story over and over. We have shown people how to march. We have shown people how to protest. We have shown people how to get laws changed. Whenever these laws happen, it never happened for us. And so what
Yep.
I would like to see is all these minorities that we're fighting for fight for us by making laws that back and protect us, because that's the only way it's going to happen.
And
You
with
can't
that,
change anybody's heart. You can't do it.
and with that being said, I want to bring up this comment Shanika said. I think it's our duty to stand up and speak on all racial injustice, with the operative word being duty.
My bad. I really misread that, Shanika. My bad. I gotta take my comment back. I thought you said it's not our job.
Right. It is
Because it
not.
damn sure ain't. Because it
It's
damn
not.
sure ain't my duty to make another motherfucker understand the difference between right and wrong. That shit dead. Everybody grown as fuck. You know you being racist. You know you being a piece of shit. It is not the job
Well,
of
no,
every
no,
black man
no.
or every
I'm,
black
I'm,
woman. Hold on.
okay.
To educate somebody how to treat somebody. Like how they talking about, like, yeah, the sensitivity training. You white people know what the word nigga means. I don't want to hear that shit. You know where that shit come from. You know it's derogatory. You know it's racist. You know the roots behind it. You know the history behind it. Just like what's buddy name that said, oh yeah, I only said it because my diabetes was acting up. I ain't never heard that shit before in my life. And it's the fact that, like, white people get on this crutch to be like, oh well, yeah, I was having a bad day. I was stressed. I wasn't taking my medication. Yada yada yada. I was like, since when does medication make you be racist? I ain't never heard that shit before in my life. This is a new medical anomaly, apparently. So I need some of that shit so I can file for disability. Something. Cause like this shit getting out of hand. And then every goddamn time, like I was saying, every time, it's always us showing somebody else the ropes because we have always been the most vocal about oppression and discrimination. And here come everybody else. Oh well, yeah, teach us how to do that. Teach us how to do this. Teach us how to do this. And as soon as they'll probably use some type of public figure that we somewhat quote unquote invite to the cookout, and then they might do a little shucking and jiving, and then everything supposed to be all hunky dory. Then next thing you know, the cycle repeats itself again.
We're welcoming. Like, black people, for the most part, aren't trying to mess with anybody. We're not trying to bother anybody. We're not trying to get revenge. We just want to be left alone. And we're also the most welcoming people. Like, we welcome people into our culture. We welcome people to the cookout. Like, we're welcoming people. And so for a lot of us, it's just a natural reaction to just support people who have been injured by the white supremacist machine. But I believe that when we are educated enough to understand the history behind all of this stuff, and we understand how all of these impoverished groups, like the LGBTQ, women, like all of the civil rights laws that have been passed have affected us the least when we're the ones that started it. And so we have to have some way to hold these groups accountable when we support them, that then they have to support us. Because until we get laws put in place that punish people for doing these type of things, nothing will ever change. And that's what they've been doing for these other groups. They put laws in place to protect and help women, get voting rights. They put laws in place for discrimination against the LGBTQ community. They put laws in place that say if you don't do X, Y, Z, you will get this punishment. There are very few laws in place, which there should not be laws to get you to treat someone that's black, man or woman, the right way. There shouldn't be. But because we know white supremacy is woven into this society, we have to have laws in place to protect us. Until that happens, that's not only from the court system, but to the law enforcement, all the way to the medical field, because medical racism is killing a lot of our black women. A lot of them. Medical racism, law enforcement, it's in every facet of our society. Whenever you think about anything that we've been doing as black people, and you search far enough back to figure out, why is this, why is that, it always goes back to white supremacy. Every single damn thing. And it's so frustrating when you think about it, that every bad thing that we've gone through or that we do today, like swimming, like buying houses, like voting, all that shit goes back to white supremacy. And until that changes, and they put laws in place, nothing's going to change.
It's so woven into American society. I was watching a video about housing insecurities up north and how certain areas of the city they planted trees in, but certain areas they didn't. And those areas they didn't plant trees had higher levels of carbon dioxide due to global warming, and how African American lifespan was cut short because of that. I'm like, God damn, like racism and white supremacy affects us in every, it's ridiculous.
They did in LA. They built a freeway in between a neighborhood, and they split the neighborhood, and so the cost on one side of the freeway, the houses are valued less than the houses on the other side of the damn freeway, and they use that freeway to escape the inner city to go stay into the suburbs and raise their property value when the property value of the black houses goes down because of the freaking freeway. Like, it's in everything, man. It's infuriating.
And I want to go back to what he said. He said that sometimes, well, not sometimes, but white people know when they're being racist. Sometimes they really don't know when they're being racist. They don't know how much they benefit from the privilege that they receive and how it affects African Americans. Sometimes they really don't know that.
I'm curious to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the difference between right and wrong, right?
Yes.
Well,
so you not agree that like a lot of social media has also put out or given examples about what is racist and what isn't racist, right? You understand the word, you know words that are derogatory. You know how to cuss, right? That shit that you hear, right? You know how to hurt people with words, right?
But racism goes far beyond that, though.
So no, I'm just using it as an example, right? These are things that you pick up in your environment, right?
Learn behavior.
I'm not even speaking on just like the actual terms. I'm talking about the actual mindset as far as you having a superiority.
Y'all talking at the same time, and I don't hear neither one of y'all saying. So
I'm telling E is learn behavior. That's modeled. So as a little kid, babies don't come out racist. I don't care.
No, I'm not debating it. I'm not debating it. I'm just saying, just as you've grown older, as you become an adult, right? You experience these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how to cut somebody with words and with behavior, right? So you know when you're being prejudiced or racist against somebody. You know this. I don't want it, because Swift said some white people don't know that they are being racist. How is that possible?
But if that was all you taught, so let's just say if you're in the foothills or wherever, if I teach my child since birth, none but hate, love yourself, hate everybody else. So then all of a sudden I release them into the world. Only thing they know is hate. They come across you, even though, yes, it's derogatory words. They know about social media and all that. That learned behavior, that taught behavior until they seek therapy. And therapy might not even help them because it's so ingrained in them that they think it's the norm. It's their value. That sometimes you can't escape what's taught.
But you see, the fact that y'all automatically gave them a crutch is part of the problem.
No
No,
crutch.
so
That's
No
part
crutch.
of the problem.
Go ahead, Rob.
no, let me give you an example. So racism and sexism, for that matter, is based on two people. Both people, well, one person has to be able to recognize that the other person is being either racist or sexist. And so for a lot of black people, they don't even recognize that the other person is being racist towards them, because a lot of us have an experience being around white people who are racist. For an example, this goes along with sexism. So a lot of us were raised with telling boys and girls something different as they grow up. And so as we get older and we realize that's sexist, you shouldn't be treating, the boys and girls differently based off of telling them, tell the girls to hold their virginity and telling the dudes, to go out and smash anything, because that's inequality. A lot of men don't understand a lot of the things we say is sexist, just like a lot of black people and white people don't understand racism. Like we study this stuff because we read, we're around different types of people. We try to study the history of this thing. A lot of people, for some of them, they don't care about that. For a lot of them, they care, but no one's really called them out on it yet. And so until, like, everybody I run into, because I'm around mostly white dudes, I'm always checking people, because certain stuff they say is like a trigger to me. Blacks, they throw a stereotype at me that I've heard multiple times, like, I speak well. If you say that to a normal black person, they won't think anything about it. For me, I already know what that means. When they tell me you're not like the rest of them, I already know that's a dog whistle. Most black people don't know that. They don't know to call that shit when they hear it. I've been around it so much that I know when they're trying to separate me or make me stand above other black people, or make me stand out above other black men and women, or when a black woman walks in the room and there's a white woman in the room, and as soon as she walks out, she's talking about how this black woman is aggressive, has attitude. Those are racist dog whistles, man. And most people
Or to take it
don't know. They don't know how to decipher that shit because they're not well versed. So I feel like it's my duty to be that person in the room with white people, to say and to check them when they're talking about black men and black women, because a lot of people are either too scared to do it or they don't understand it. They aren't able to pick it out. And so I see it. I'm telling you, I see it all the
So
time.
we're gonna wrap this up.
I'm not buying that shit, bro.
We can talk about it in the group chat. Final comments of the evening, gentlemen. Let's start with Rob. Final comments.
All right. So what was our first topic? Should you be in a relationship at a certain age? No, you should not. But I feel like as you get older, you compromise less, and stuff you're looking for gets more specific. And so you shouldn't be in it by a certain age, but as you get older, it does get harder, in my opinion. Should your circle of friends play a role in your relationship? Hell no. You should have a close-knit circle that you talk to, you bounce ideas off of, but they should have no say in your relationship. For the Asian attack, prayers to that community. We all need to be fighting white supremacy. Everybody. You shouldn't be a tool for white supremacy. You should be fighting white supremacy to get that shit out of here. That's it.
Jay Ward.
I agree with Rob. I think that as far as being in a relationship by a certain age, take your time. Do it. Move at your own pace. Whether you get in a relationship at 18 and that's your final relationship, or you wait until you're 57, it don't matter. Just, you may not ever want to get into a relationship. Do your thing. As far as having people in your circle, I think that, you should have dialogue with your significant other when you meet. Not when you meet, but when you start to get serious, at what role certain people play in your lives. And I think that stops people from overstepping or understepping, and just they know where they stand. I do want to hit on what Rob said about just I don't get advice from my friends about certain people. If everything that you talk, if everything that you say about your significant other to your family or friends is bad, that's going to further mess up your relationship, because then they are going to treat your significant other worse or treat them differently because all they hear is bad stuff about them. So you should watch that. I would watch that. As far as the situation, man, I'm just against hate on everybody, and I think that comes from as a kid at different points in my life. I was bullied. I've always been like an underdog type person, so I'm gonna always ride for other people. As a teacher, I see where this comes from, and to kind of speak on what we were talking about the last few minutes, as far as ignorance being an excuse. No one's excusing it because there's so much information out there. But if everything that you know about a black person, you either hear it on the news or on social media or see it on TV, then you would have a very negative outlook on a black person because you've never really been around one. So everything is just based off what you heard. So you really don't know. And then lastly, these younger people, the drip bros, I've seen them with my own eyes. I played basketball with these people, and they allowed their white friends to call them the N word. And I had to check one day. I'm like, hey, man, if you're around another group of black people, you can get messed up by this. And he got scared. I'm like, not me, but it's other people would really
Yep.
check you about this
Yeah,
word.
you say, yeah, you too.
Well, they were kids. I'm trying to educate them and let them know like this is not okay with other people. That's what I'm saying. We're so quick to get
Fuck me
angry,
too.
but I want to educate as well. Well, I'm a teacher. E. I got to do that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
my job. So,
you get a
I mean, I
pass.
wasn't at work. I wasn't at work, but I still was around kids. So I'm a teacher to all kids that I'm around. So I'm just like, look, this is insensitive, and you should not do this. But you watch TikTok, you listen to this music. They listen to our music with the N word in it, so they feel like I own the music. I should be able to use the word because I hear them in my songs all the time. So it's like nobody's
Gotta
really
check
telling
it.
them why you shouldn't do this or why you shouldn't say that. So, but
Yep.
that's not an excuse. And I definitely think that we should support, not just our Asian people, but we should support all minorities when we're dealing with the struggle just to get hate out. And then lastly, representation matters. So when you see people represented, because I know it's a lot of us who, and I remember when I was younger, I was insensitive to the dialogue that I should have with the LGBTQ community. Like the first time I heard about someone picking their own pronouns, I was like, what? But I had to get educated on it, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. I respect this, and this is something that I'll do myself. So I want to call you by the pronouns that you want to be called by. So I think we just, everybody needs to constantly get trained and educated on certain things.
Man, that's
It
I really
ain't your turn. It ain't your turn yet. E.
okay.
Go ahead, Crow.
When it comes down to age and being in a relationship or being married by, that is on the people who are deciding to be in relationships at whatever factor, whatever time they choose to be in their life. Um, and only they can make that decision. When it comes to, I think you threw an extra question in there about attraction. That falls on the person and
Qualities.
what they're looking for. Huh? What'd you say,
What
Swift?
qualities? What qualities do you look for?
What qualities? Yeah, yeah. That falls back to the individual themselves and what point they're at in their life and exactly what they're looking for and what they're willing to compromise and if they're not willing to compromise. Then we talk about the roles of friends. You need to basically establish who these people are. And like I said, I didn't do that in the early stages when I was younger. But now that I'm older, definitely establish who they are, and then is levels to knowing what to tell each person. And also, it is okay to befriend folks along the way, but as Jay Ward said, it got to be open and it has to be strictly about friendship. And then also I think he said, people knowing they're being racist after a certain age. Yeah, I'll give you that. Some people are definitely cognitive of what's going on and, that they're spewing hurt, even though that they was taught and that's a learned behavior. So I'm not denying that, but at the same hard to change a person's way of thinking after, it's a life, it's a norm or, something like that. It takes a lot.
No, no, no.
Final thoughts, E.
Final thought, E.
Okay,
Final
final
thought.
thoughts. Jay Ward, I hate the excuse of that some folks use they hear nigga in the song, and so they feel like they can use it. That's a bold faced lie. It's a cop out because you hear about Jews all the time. Don't nobody say nothing about that shit because it's anti-Semitic. Why can't the same rules apply? That shit didn't even happen over here. Yet as soon as you speak about Jews in a bad way, it's we gotta cancel them. Crowley. Um, as far as them people going to raising kids up and whatnot, they go to school. They know the difference. Stop that, man. Stop giving. Call a spade a spade. Why is it so? Why is it so much?
Final thoughts, Steve. Final thoughts.
Okay, we need to stop having. We need to stop acting so taboo and call a spade for what it is.
But you forgot
Stop
these
giving
get homeschooled.
Crow. E, you done?
Yep.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight.
WAP is offensive to Italians.
If you are interested in the if you are interested in the clubhouse next Thursday, let me know. I will post the link right after this, so you'll see that shortly. I don't have any final. I just want to say thank y'all, and I want to also say fuck T birthday. He ain't shit. And that's pretty much it for tonight. If you have not received your stimulus check, I feel bad for you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your fault, your problem. And
Whipped and used that stimulus check to get on the road, didn't it?
No, that was my other one.
Swift used that stimmy to buy the drinks at the bar when the girlfriend invited him out. So
straight up.
All right, y'all have a great evening.
Y'all have a good night. Be safe, man. Appreciate that.